Hi, science students, and welcome back for our third day of digital learning. Today is March 18th. It's National Oatmeal Cookie Day, and this is my cat, Kevin. I wanted to check in with you and just remind you of a couple things. Don't forget that each day our digital learning assignments that you're turning in onto Google Classroom or onto STEMscopes, those things are counting as classwork grades. So you want to make sure you're turning in your best work, you're asking questions if you don't understand what to do, and you're asking me to help if you need the assistance. I want to remind you that if you turned something in and didn't get a grade that you loved, I would encourage you to revise that and turn it back in. I'm going to input all of our classwork grades for this week on Friday afternoon. So anything that needs to be turned into me, whether it's an assignment that didn't get completed previously or one that you revised, it needs to be turned in by Friday. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to get done today. Today we're going to be constructing some explanations about those relationships between temperature, volume, and pressure that we've been looking at. You've observed some mini labs, you've practiced with some mathematical thinking and graphing, and so now it's time for us to see that you can explain these relationships between these three different variables. So we're going to need to go to two different websites in order to complete today's lesson. The first website is Google Classroom, and you're going to see that here for number 1, and you're going to see that here for number 3. We are also going to go to STEMscopes, but you've navigated to both of these places many times in class. So you should be able to go to Google Classroom and to go to STEMscopes with no problems. You need to go in this order, and that's why it's here, but you need to go in this order in order to review all the things you need to review before taking the quiz. So for the first part, you're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to click on the Behavior of Gases Virtual Lab. When you open that, the assignment's going to look like what you see here. It's going to tell you need to open the Google Doc to click on the link, and when you finish, go back to eClass to complete the second part. So when you open this document, what you're going to see are going to be the instructions that you're writing the learning target into your student handbook. Make sure that you're doing that each day and that you're completing the virtual lab. So I'm going to click on this link, and that's what you should do too. I'm going to click on the link and I'm going to go to the virtual lab. When the virtual lab opens, I'm going to see these molecules moving around. I'm going to see a thermometer. I'm going to see a pressure meter, and I'm going to see some buttons at the bottom. So this little structure is going to be like a hot plate. And as you want to increase the temperature, you need to make sure temperature is clicked and that you've clicked low, medium, or high. Bye, Kevin. When you want to change the volume, you need to click in the top right corner up here, and you can move this up and down. So let's go back to our sheet to make sure you know what to do. For this first part, as you're exploring the lab, you need to fill in any missing information. You need to fill in volume, you need to fill in pressure, you need to fill in temperature where it's missing. After you've done that, there are going to be a few questions. There are 5 questions total about the lab itself. So it's asking you to make some predictions, to explain some relationships, but make sure that you've typed answers to each of the questions listed. When you're finished with this part, you'll go back to eClass and read the next direction. Go to STEMscopes to complete How Measuring Pressure Throughout the Football World. It's called Reading and Science. So when I open that, I'm going to see an article that looks like this. You go to STEMscopes and you'll see the title, Reading Science, How Measuring Pressure Throughout the Football World, and you'll complete it. There's going to be a couple questions that go along with the article, but it's a very short article. So make sure you've completed this second part. I will be checking both to count towards your classwork grade for today. Lastly, you'll go back to eClass, yes, to read the direction, and then it'll tell you to go back to Google Classroom for quizzes. So I'm going to Google Classroom, I'm going to STEMscopes, I'm going back to Google Classroom to take this quiz. This quiz will count as part of your classwork grade as well. You can take it up to 2 times. So if you don't like the score you get the first time, make sure you slow down the second time you take it, you pay closer attention to the questions, and you resubmit it for a better grade. I want to remind you as a last reminder that each assignment is going to count as a classwork grade, each assignment. So the ones that we've done already count as classwork grades. The ones we're doing today count as classwork grades. So make sure that you're staying on top of this schoolwork and that you're reaching out to me with any questions that you have as we go forward. Just like we've been doing, if you have any questions, you're going to click on the little question mark, type it out, and I will reply. I would encourage you to check that other people haven't already asked your question. If you see your question already, read my response and go ahead and get started. If you don't see your question already, type it out and I'll reply to you as quickly as I can. You can do this, and I'm here to help you. You just have to let me know that you need the help. Have a really great day, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.